the end of the day, come 4 o'clock, gates are open in either way. People have paid tickets, so no matter what real-time decision, whether it's how we ran the gates, what type of staff we had on, how we built the site, when we built the site, you don't have a choice. Come 4 o'clock, the gates are opening. I would say against most, and I've worked with teams all around this country, that I would back the team that we have procured now against any.
Moving forward with CG, it's important for ourselves as partners and as directors to make sure we're always raising the barriers of what we're doing and raising the bar of what we're doing. So we have a large-scale tour that we're releasing early in 2019. We'll be touring the entire country and also probably the world. What we're bringing forward with that is we know we can deliver events now. What we want to do is how far can we deliver these things? What can we bring in? Which means innovation, fabrication and design, which people haven't seen before. We want to see if this is possible, which means we engage the best of the best and go, here's our idea, and they go, it's not possible, and we go, make it happen. Our
mandate to Stu and I was that we wanted to change the live music scene just in Canberra, where I think now it's about changing the entertainment industry worldwide.
Anthems came about, really, we were looking at doing our first big event as promoters. We're looking at what would work and what wouldn't work in the Canberra market. It was pretty important to us, who were born and bred in Canberra, to do something in Canberra. Notoriously, it's one of the hardest event spaces in Australia to do events, compliance and things like that.
There's some younger demographic festivals that are already targeting these people, and there was nothing for an older demographic. There was nothing for them to call their own, and that was the key driver. Is we thought about the Canberrans, being both locals ourselves. We thought about what is a demographic that's been missed, and then we thought about what bangers do they have, what are they missing, what are those moments in their lives that they experienced so long ago that we could bring back to them. Every old rock artist has those anthems, and that's where the name was created, literally.
How long does it take to build a stage like this?
About 8 hours.
8 hours, all day?
Full day's work.
You can give me a site and thousands of people and I'll keep them safe and it'll run, but I grossly underestimated the marketing side and how much time and effort goes into things like a logo.
And I've got heaps of venue shots that I'm using.
Has he got like a font or a logo or anything?
Yeah, still on track. Everything's good. We are, I believe, on time.
Being a local, I'd never actually been to the Arboretum. And then Stu brought me up there and he said, oh, I'm working on a site at the moment. And he brought me up there and walked me out to the amphitheatre, and that was it. I didn't care how hard it was. I didn't care the logistical challenge that we were going to face. That was the site, and that's where we were going.
The biggest challenge about the Arboretum, it's at the top of a hill and there's one road in, one road out. So it's kind of like working at a volcano. You're not quite sure what's going to happen, but it's going to happen.
Certainly isn't the #1 job over here, is it?
Shit job.
How bloody good is this venue?
We were dealing with a demographic of government that they weren't experienced in events. They have a beautiful site and they've maintained it beautifully. But it's to present trees and a view. It's not to hold thousands of people for a mass gathering with huge noises and plenty of trucks, and it's just not made for it. It never was. So the sales pitch started on them, for them to be able to back us, to say we know what we're doing, be confident with us and let us deliver the site.
Probably the biggest hurdle in terms of the actual event itself was the amphitheatre. It looked so kind and friendly, and then you start walking it each day. I don't have legs like this for no reason. And up and down that hill is probably the hardest thing, and accessibility. It's not designed for that space. It's an amphitheatre, yes, but it's also the windiest site in the world, the steepest site in the world. Oh, take your pick.
What are you girls going through now?
We are going through the artist riders just to make sure that we've got everything that we need for the artists in the day, and Millie's our artist liaison manager. Hi!
The demographic of artists that we selected, they've been in our industry longer than most of our directors have been alive. And they've earned the right to ask for certain things. We also got great feedback from them. The way they were treated, their site office, they must admit, had the prettiest view that they probably ever had.
Can't wait for it to go off.
So what's happening in the pavilion behind us?
Pardon? Oh look, we can't talk about that. We'll have to speak to our PR ladies, I'm sorry.
Do not enter. Let's go. Oh, that's a bit cute.
If we got it all right, but we didn't treat our artists well, then we virtually lost what we're there for, because people have paid money to hear those people sing, so we've got to look after them as best we can. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you.
So in terms of the power, we had 4 generators out the back. They're all 250 kVA. So what that pretty much means is we had enough power to power a suburb. We had diesel fumes going everywhere as well. We had minimal space out the back of the stage to be able to get all this infrastructure in. We fitted in like a Tetris. And then from there we had the lighting rig, and all these things have to be on separate circuits, so if something goes down, the other thing doesn't go down. These days PAs don't use as much power, they're very economical. A light is a light. The brighter it gets, the more it takes. Until they figure out that conundrum, we're never going to get there. So we had huge amounts of lights on it. I think we had close to 250 moving head lights on that roof system, as well as a ground package of another 120 lights. And from there we had multiple packages coming through for the different artists. When I say packages, pretty much we have all these things in the wings. As the artist comes on, we bring in what they've requested, and then we have to get rid of it again without people seeing what's going on.
What's happening on this side of the stage?
Oh, we're building Monitor World, right?
That sounds like fun.
It's barrel of monkeys.
Looks like Spaghetti Junction.
It is.
The Arboretum is quite isolated, I suppose, so in regards to the ticketing machines, there's a mandatory download that you have to put onto the machines. All of us having 3G, no one really had 4G up there. We built a timeline in to update those machines. They were obviously delivered to site on the day because the ticketing company is there on the day, and they wouldn't update.
They'll all kick into gear. I cannot get one going.
25 minutes to gate open, and we didn't have ticketing machines, but at the end of the day, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, okay, we scanned them through and all the rest of it. But once again, you're only as good as your worst situation, and we knew that we had the wristbands, we had experienced staff at the gate, and let me tell you, had not one machine opened, I still would have opened the gates at 4 o'clock and we would have kept rolling.
What's the secret to wrangling 8,000 people through this bottleneck?
Oh, just take it easy on them.
And once again, that was another logistical issue, because up there, you can't just create bandwidth, you can't just create something that's not there. So we once again learnt from it, and I put some pressure on Stu. I'm not technically savvy at all, just so you're aware, but Stu has promised me that next time he's got a solution, and we're all over it, so it shouldn't be an issue next time.
So my background is in large-scale productions. I specialise as a front-of-house technician, which means I do the audio mixing for bands, and I've toured the entire world doing that. In terms of Anthems and the amphitheatre, we faced a few challenges. We had quite a large stage structure, which is only meant to hold a certain amount of wind. And we always have to look at the wind, and we have to look at the weather when it comes to these structures. We also have to look at the coverage. So the amphitheatre is huge at the Arboretum. It doesn't look that big, but it is massive, which means that from the bottom of the hill to the top of the hill, we're looking at a 20-metre increase over about 75 to 80 metres. These challenges all came together, and we just dealt with them with the crew that we had, and it was absolutely perfect. And I think by all accounts, the stage sounded absolutely amazing and looked awesome as well.
So mate, we're halfway through the day, Thursday. What's going on? What are we up to?
Currently laying out 5,500 chairs, getting the stage structure in. Boys are tidying off all the power. We're getting ready for a good day. The rain is holding off, which is perfect.
Never again in my life will I be folding any chair out. Even a camping chair is too much folding for me.
Don't put any chairs closer to the CCB than 2.5.
I'm not doing it. It was the most monotonous job, but it was symmetrically perfect until one person, I think the third person that sat down, picked their chair up and went to move it, and almost had a brain aneurysm. I was like, no mate, that is exactly 1.1 metres from that row in front of you. Like, that's exactly where that chair was.
I can't look at hills or chairs ever again.
Yeah.
We sit on the ground at home now.
And you know what?
I'm over it.
Shout out to our crew, to be honest. Like, we whinge, especially Stu. Like, speakers weren't working coincidentally all the time when we were doing the chairs. But for our crew, we appreciate it.
Event 1 to all staff doing the chairs. It looks like you must be council workers. 3 standing around, 1 doing the chairs. Maybe we'll lift the pace.
Home stretch, boys. 1 row to go. Yeah. Are you moving him again?
Copy that, thank you mate. I won't tell you what he said. My tent, the tent at the top of the hill, the tent that no one told me you could have. I got it, and as we thought, it did present its own issues. The Arboretum itself being, I would say, more of a horticultural site and a tourism site, or an event site specific. Their grass is the most overwatered grass I've ever seen, and because of that it's beautiful, don't get me wrong, it gives us a good platform to put an event on.
None of us could predict how wet the ground was going to be. We had these stakes that were about 1.5 metres long, driven into the ground, and they were pulling out because of the wind.
Calling in the heavy artillery, are we?
Oh, my word, mate. My word. The wind versus cement.
Move out. You want it closer or not? Yeah.
No more, please, no more.
Do you have a different colour? So quickly, we were lucky enough that we had a lot of weight still around site. And being local, we are locally based, so either our own warehouse or connections that we had locally, we could get another 15 tonne, I think, on site or whatever it was within half an hour. And we just tied it all down, wrapped them in white fabric, made them as pretty as we could, and we kept rolling. I suppose for me, we had to have shade, we had to have comfortable chairs, and we had to have accessibility. So the site itself was quite flat, but relatively large as far as the span, the overall span. So we knew that if you've walked all the way to the top of that amphitheatre, you've lined up to get some chips. You don't want to be walking that far to any other services. So we tried to condense it as much as we can with still letting people roam around, if that makes sense. So once again, more lessons learnt there. There was a lot of lessons learned, and we got some great feedback about the structures and the site, and some not so great feedback about some of the other areas in regards to bar frontage and things like that. So we'll fix it and we'll change it and we'll come back better than ever.
And at the end of the day, we are a family. Yes, we're a team, but we're also a family. And when push comes to shove, we get the job done. And I think that's a testament to our team and to our family environment that we have. Everyone hooks in and everyone gets it done. And that's the only way you can do it.
Remember, hydration is key, then teamwork.
Good man.
You know, you can't just assume people are going to rock up at 9 and work till 5. Sometimes you have to work till 5:30. And that's where our team is different. They'll rock up at 8 and they'll work till 10, even though they're supposed to only come and drop some water bottles off, you know.
Absolutely smashed, but it's worth it.
So let's grab the maples and the magnolias, and then we'll distribute them. So there's 5, yes? So do the maples on either end of the food court, and then a magnolia in the middle of the food court in the wine barrels. And then we'll go from there. Jimmy?
We have no recollection of what.
Oh, plants, sorry. grab the waxy ones.
Yep.
And that big tall one.
Ages ago, I saw a photo of a site for a regional festival in New South Wales, and they had plants everywhere. And I thought to myself, all right, the Arboretum itself is beautiful when you get to the amphitheatre, but the entryway and everything else was quite dry and quite bland. So of course, it was plants that were going to fill that void. So I still remember saying to Stu that he needs to build me like 15 planter boxes around the site. And I just added them. I think I added a few on the day and a few other issues because I had spare plants. But I think it softened it. And yes, the question is, I do love my plants, and I do. And there was plenty of them there. And I think the public appreciated it too. It softened something that was quite harsh, and a lot of people, we got a lot of feedback about the entryway. So
mate, you're
Hello.
bringing plants to the Arboretum.
Yes, do you like it?
You must feel pretty good.
And pest-free.
Ah, that's the secret. So what did you think when they first asked you to come and bring plants to the Arboretum?
We were delighted, really. Matt came out to my premises and they had a few little issues to handle, and within 10 minutes Matt had it all dealt with. So he's a man that operates with quite a lot of certainty, which is a pleasure to work with.
Everything we ever do with CEG, something is there for a reason, and it's there because we want it to be there. And that's where we are different from other companies. That's where we really specialise, is that we want people to have the best experience possible when they walk in the door. And I think people saw that. When you walk through those gates, the site was absolutely gorgeous.
What are we up to, ladies?
Putting the vendor signs up.
Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Perfect. Right?
So other than putting these stickies on, what's the most exciting thing so far about setting up for Anthems?
Seeing it all come together after like 9 months of pain.
How are we, mate?
Good, mate. Good, good.
Looks like you got a lot more done than you planned yesterday.
Yeah, heaps done. Last day before tomorrow, event day. So yeah, going well. Stage is coming up. Chairs are going in. Nothing's going wrong. Touch wood.
This is a big one, isn't it? I'm happy about the weather for you.
Hey, Josh, looking up.
Yeah, no, it's looking good. It's looking great.
The All-Star is on site.
Oh, stop it.
To make all the
I've been
pretty
waiting
stuff
for
run on
Farnsy,
time.
mate.
He makes all the pretty stuff run on
All
time.
I got to do is just have a good clock.
Yeah, correct. It's a good stopwatch.
Dave is our stage manager, so he controls everything on the stage throughout the entire event, and he keeps it down to the minute, especially when we have things like noise restrictions around the space. We have to finish on the dot every single time and make sure the artists are doing exactly what they need to do on stage at all times.
Right now we're doing what's meant to be a 20-minute changeover in 10 minutes.
I think it's going to be great, you know, like it's been sounding good already, so, you know, upwards and upwards.
We are swimming in time. Thank you, congratulations, man, that was amazing. Thank you.
That's my photo.
Truly amazing.
Thank you.
To the minute, it's because a huge amount of people have put a lot of work in and they've done their job really well. There's a lot of people having a great time. So am I.
Don't both way. Cool.
That's how we do an easy meeting.
Yes, because you're organised. It's great.
A lot of things run through your head 24 hours out from a show, mate. All the little things. Bits of rubbish. Why does the scrim look like that? Why isn't there enough chairs? There is enough chairs. All the little things start coming out to play, especially when you start setting up fencing. You always go, short 3 panels. What do I do now? It's always, you pull out all the contingencies in the last 24 hours, you plan for 9 months, and shit still goes wrong.
The rush, the excitement. Hey, where are you? Yeah, oh, me too.
So it's game day, mate. What's going on so far?
Pandemonium, organised chaos I like to call it. This is the drone guy, say hi.
Johnny!
Just doing a bit of pre-testing of stuff yourself.
Droning. Nice. Oh mate, we're filming. You're filming.
That's like Inception stuff, isn't it?
Everything's pretty much ready to go.
Can't wait to see Joe Camilleri. We've got the Welcome to Country coming up very shortly. Some guy called John Farnham singing later tonight. Some guy on a horse or something, Daryl Braithwaite.
I suppose we're lucky enough that coming from a security risk management background, I've been able to procure a team around us for security risk management that are second to none.
I've been working out.
You've been, oh, yeah.
You've lost too much weight going up and down the hill.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. The boys are doing the finishing touching on the barrier now. They're putting some tape on the barrier so no one gets injured, and we're ready to go.
How many guys have we got on today?
65.
Security?
Yep, 65 security and more than 30 CSOs.
They're world leading and they're world demand, but for us it was more being at home and knowing that I was the promoter. I stacked the deck as best I could.
Mate, you could have barred through, I reckon.
No, there was a guy that looked like Mr. Scorpio from The Simpsons. He wouldn't let me in, or Chuck Norris.
That's
Take
true,
a pick.
actually. Chuck Norris.
What are you doing today?
Oh, you know, partying at Anthems.
Yeah, you just came here to party, do a few dance moves to John Farnham.
I love the dance moves. John Farnham, who doesn't?
Show us your moves.
And we're very lucky with that. Like, a lot of our experience comes from emergency situations and crowd egresses and things like that. So the boys up there, I think collectively there's over 100 years of police experience in that room.
The team's working unreal, as per normal.
Oh, so this is good.
A lot of experience in events here. A lot of experience.
The secret to keeping everyone contained while listening to Daryl Braithwaite's horses.
Oh, Daryl Braithwaite's horses will be an interesting one. We'll have a few more in the pit for that one, I think.
Yeah, I think we'll get quite busy. Towards the end of Braithwaite's set, I reckon we get real busy.
Yeah.
Then it'll drop away, then Farnham starts. And when he gets, I reckon, what do you reckon? Under pressure?
Yeah, under pressure.
Under pressure, the last couple of 3, correct? Control room, this is the heart, this is where it all happens. Say hello, boys.
Hello, boys. The dream team.
G'day.
Yes.
And the way they deal with the communications in an emergency situation, we pride ourselves in the way we deal with any emergency situation, let alone having that background and the way that sort of helps integrate into our shows. And
They're going good. There was a bit of a hassle getting people in. Some of the roads just converge and create a pressure point, a stress point. But we got it all sorted out. The boys figured out a way to get everyone in nice and smoothly. But yeah, it's always nice to get feedback from people about things that they're not quite enjoying.
So tomorrow you'll get all the feedback of how great it was.
Yes, well, yeah, exactly. We get the nice feedback at the end.
Coming here to Instagram, or are you looking after the ground? Has it been pretty smooth working with the guys?
Absolutely a polished team. Been there and done that, so they know what they're talking about.
all of the boys there were ex-police, ex-tactical police, so they help us deliver communications that are clear and crisp, because if I can't get through to someone or there is a case of an emergency, and we did have a few health concerns, we did have a few issues that no one would know, because we had experienced first aiders, and by the time it hit radio, they were shuttled down in an ambulance within 15 minutes. Radio comms recorded, written down, we're good to go. We just roll to the next thing, because at that time of the night, that's when intox becomes its highest level, and that's when we get good at dealing with it. So.
We made it!
The voice just keeps getting better and better and better. And we're about to be joined by the one, the only, the magnificent John Farnham. Have a great night, everybody.
I didn't even have time to finish my orange juice.
Yeah, but then she grabbed the truckie from backstage in his truckie singlet, brought him out on stage. I reckon that was awesome. That was a highlight.
Working with this
And what's the
awesome
plans for after
team.
the gig?
Oh my God, you guys killed it.
What's the plans for after the gig?
After the gigs, I'll probably film you guys packing up.
Do you want to catch up after?
You know, I really hope that people embrace tonight and get behind it, because this is what it's all about. It's absolute magic. There's only one word to describe tonight: magic.
Magic. Magic. Tell us, who do you want to see back next year?
Next year? Oh, look, I think I'd like to see Barnsey back next year. I think put Barnsey in there. No, it has to be Anthems, Australian Anthems.
Success with JD Hollywood, that'd be rad.
Ice House, Baby Animals, and that's it.
John Farnham was the
John
best.
Farnham was good.
The music was unreal, everything was great.
Fleetwood Mac.
Jimmy Barnes has to come back.
Bring him next time.
Bring him next time.
Can
That's
you
what
get
we-
Bon Scott?
Nice to see Canberra doing something amazing.
Come back next year?
Hopefully this is the beginning of many more events to come.
The rules that we live by are quite simple. You know, we are a team, we are delivering events, we don't have any room for error. Yeah, our goal is simple: deliver the highest quality event, don't skimp on price, make sure it's safe, and make sure people are happy. And make sure our team is happy and safe as well.
Like I said, we took money off people, so we hope that they had a good time and got their money's worth. And all of the issues and things that anyone raised were so minute that they're such an easy thing to fix. So I think for us, CEG really strives and demands a high level of excellence. So as long as we keep achieving it, then we should be fine.